A black woman, a highly successful CEO, walked into a room full of influential executives, but something felt off. It wasn't just the cold reception. It was the words that followed. "You don't belong here," they whispered, eyes scanning her with disbelief. Minutes later, she was told that her company didn't meet the criteria for a key contract worth $2.5 billion. But what they didn't know was that she wasn't about to let that slide. The evening would end with a shocking twist. What happens when you refuse to accept injustice? Watch until the end to find out. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Marissa Jackson had built her empire from the ground up. Raised in a modest neighborhood, she was the first in her family to attend an Ivy League school. After years of fighting for recognition in a predominantly white industry, she had finally become the CEO of a thriving food distribution company. That evening, she attended an executive dinner, an event held to discuss a multi-billion-dollar contract. But as she entered the grand hall, something felt strange. The way people avoided her gaze, the whispers in the corners. She shook it off, determined to focus on the business at hand. She wasn't new to this world. She knew how to navigate it. But this dinner? It wasn't just another business meeting. It was about to be something much more personal. The first comment was casual, but it stung. "I didn't expect to see you here." As the dinner unfolded, Marissa noticed the subtle yet unmistakable coldness from the others at the table. A few of the executives engaged in polite conversation, but it was clear they were not interested in her presence. One of them even commented on how nice it was to see such diversity, an attempt to mask the underlying discomfort. When the contract proposal was laid on the table, Marissa took her place at the head of the table, as she had done many times before. But the words that followed from one of the senior executives stunned her. "Unfortunately, your company doesn't meet the qualifications we're looking for." Marissa blinked, her heart pounding. She had spent the last several months preparing for this moment. Her company had been delivering top-quality food products to institutions across the country, establishing itself as a true leader in the industry. She did not doubt that her company was more than capable of handling the massive contract. Yet the bias was evident. The words felt like a slap in the face, as though her years of hard work and accomplishments meant nothing to these individuals. But Marissa didn't flinch. Instead, she took a deep breath and calmly responded, "I believe you may be overlooking some key factors. Let me explain." She outlined her company's strengths, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were more than qualified. The tension in the room grew palpable as Marissa delivered her pitch. Her words were measured, confident, and precise. But just as the meeting seemed to shift in her favor, one of the executives interrupted. "We're not interested in your company," he said coldly. "It's a shame, really. We had high hopes, but..." In that moment, Marissa felt the weight of every racial barrier she had ever faced. It wasn't just the words spoken. It was the dismissal of everything she had worked for. Her anger rose, but she didn't show it. Instead, she took a moment of silence and then made a decision. Marissa wasn't about to be bullied out of a deal that could change everything for her company. Without hesitation, she called the CEO of the competing company during the meeting, offering a significantly better deal. Within minutes, she secured a $2.5 billion contract, sending the room into a state of shock. The dinner ended shortly after, and Marissa walked out of the room with her head held high. She knew that what had just happened wasn't just about a business deal. It was about proving that talent, determination, and skill would always outweigh prejudice. The $2.5 billion contract was signed with a rival company, a deal that would allow her company to expand exponentially. As Marissa made her way back to her office that night, she reflected on the unfairness of it all. This was not just one isolated incident. It was a reminder that racial injustice still lurked in the most unexpected places, even at the highest levels of business. But she had proven something far greater that night. When you stand up for yourself and your worth, even in the face of discrimination, change is possible. Marissa smiled to herself, asking, "How many more people are going to stand up like I did?" "What about you? How long will we allow injustice to persist?" "Tell me, where are you watching from?" "Take care."